Number 516. OG. A couple of recordings or so back. 3 recordings back, is it? I was born again, if you like, in that reference library situation, reading Plato. And with this background of having read Straight and Crooked Thinking, Rationality, Logical Thinking by Robert H. Thales. Yeah, you see, it had given me amazing new life then. Something foundation to perception, isn't it? This is life eternal, to know God. I was feeling, at least, that I was suddenly knowing something about truth, understanding, logic, reasoning, and that if in some sense I master this, wow, that's the way to go. It's going to affect everything I do in life. It was a sort of sudden realize that this is a handle to mastery. And it's the birth of the realization of the role of uncertainty in my life too, isn't it? That this was a way of conquering uncertainty, to be rational, to be reasonable, to be logical. So I was actually born again then, spiritually speaking. And of course the association of truth being associated with God, and realization and awareness and consciousness was indeed a spiritual rebirth, true rebirth. Where you come into a completely different view of what you're wrestling with. And suddenly I was the philosopher wrestling with what is truth. Of course I was arrogant and a child, in experience. So I was utterly against religion because, not utterly, but I just felt it's people are just using it as a prop. That's not the way to go. There must be something better. And I found it. Path to truth. Philosophy, rationality, reasoning. And this is the experience of many people at that sort of stage of life, teenagers, whatever. All the CND thing, campaign against nuclear disarmament. Against nuclear power. Campaign for nuclear disarmament, that's right. Yes, that again it was to improve society, wasn't it? The revolution of the 60s from the youth point of view. All the flower power movement was, again, a way of saying, no, we want peace, man. Not what you're doing, your damned wars, Century of war, terrible. More people killed in war probably in the 20th century than any other at that stage, at least. Even, given the historicity of the steppes of Central Asia and the Khans, of Genghis Khan and so on. I won't dwell on the bad, but yes, you see, that's what youth seems to be about. It's unhappy about the status quo. It sees the faults. It's negative. And it's come to destroy the old, to have something better. There must be something better. And they're reckless enough to seize on anything that might be better, whether it's drugs or non-conformity as a way of life or whatever. And Essex University was the epitome of this, of course, and was heralded by the press, the media, as, the tragic way our world was going to pot, literally in this case. I wasn't, but the culture was. I was incredibly conformist compared to the people I was mixing with, and very old-fashioned, peculiarly so, I think, really, or verging on it. A misfit. I felt to be a misfit in that sense. My lack of conformity, again, was protecting me at least from some of the more obvious faults of the other youth that I was mixing with. Let me think a minute. I'm not sure why 5160 has got a G after it, because obviously it wasn't a run of A to G prior to it. A to F and then that being G. But I don't think I'll take the G out. I suppose because I associate G with God. It's the 7th letter of the alphabet. 7th day of the week, Sabbath, God. God's day, if you like. Realization of God. To stop work. And just be aware of Him. Remembering that this is life eternal, to know Him. You never know when you're on the eve of absolute enlightenment. Being born again, you see. It suddenly hits you, just like Marshall, later walking around the university campus in the spring, 24. How strange, I'm so happy I want God to exist. Fancy Marshall wanting God to exist. What's happened to him? Born yet again. Into yet a greater realization of the possibility of God in our uncertain situation. And to recognize this possibility is everything to life eternal. Possibly. But possibly with an infinite reward is still of infinite gain to choose. And you'd be mad not to choose it. This logic is still with me. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. I must tell you how pleased I am with this little run of recordings. I so often get that. By the grace and the love of God. I start just thinking, perhaps I could do a bit of a recording here. Something in what I've been listening to in the review in order to publish as I have it at this point. And I think, oh, well, I'll give it a try. And God suddenly furnishes me with what I feel to be an insight, major. And I'm flying again. Because it's as if I feel, or it's as if I'm benefiting from closeness of God. You know, I have this view that our thoughts all come from God according to our values, and that the nearer that our values are to those of God, or nearer to harmony with, the more we're going to be drawing pearls of wisdom, tremendous leaps forward. Dear one, it's without end, I surmise, at present. Without end, except to say the end is the continuation of such forever. Perception that's into life eternal, you see. It's something of that. Transcendence, accelerating enlightenment without end. That this is the experience in the domain of God, and we're children, his children, following a delight to him, like Father, like Son. Dear one, we are children of God. How unspeakably wonderful. Thank you, Heavenly